Synco has a long history of making super small battery power smoke machines. Their Microfogger 2 was the first compact smoke machine that I have ever used. I've then tried their Microfogger 3 Pro, and now Synco has released the Microfogger 5 Pro, and it is probably the biggest update of the Microfogger lineup so far. So in this video, we'll have a look at this latest flagship smoke machine from Synco, and I'll also do a bit of comparison with the PMI SmokeNINJA, which is another compact smoke machine which was just released recently. So in case you haven't watched any of my previous Microfogger reviews, Microfoggers are very small smoke machines that are really portable. They are battery power using rechargeable battery, and it is so small that I can easily fit into my pocket. It is a smoke machine, so of course it can generate smoke, but not just that. Using the different attachments and different settings on the device, you can generate many different kind of smoke effects. You can create the dry ice effect, which is my favorite, or the haze effect, or create bubble and many other type of smoke effects. With this new version, there's also an optional ColorSmoke Attachment that you can buy separately. What it does is you can color the smoke generated by the Microfogger. Well, it doesn't actually change the color of the smoke, but its color LED light can light up the smoke in pretty much any color you want, and you can also create some lighting effects as well. So if you're using it in a dark environment, you can see the smoke light up in your preferred color and effect. Now, since this is a really small smoke machine and powered by the battery, the amount of smoke it generates is not quite the same as a normal size smoke machine. I think the Microfogger 5 is excellent for product photography or portrait photography in a studio. If you want to use it in an outdoor space, then I would recommend you getting at least 2 or 3 units. Okay, now you know what the Microfogger 5 Pro can do. Let's have a look at the design of this device. The size of the Microfogger 5 Pro is quite similar to its predecessors, very compact, but now it has a much larger screen which makes the display a lot easier to see. All the previous generation Microfogger has more or less that same boxy shaped design, but this time Synco has completely redesigned the body. The new design with the thinner body not only give it a more polished look, but it's also easier to hold. A large part of the Microfogger 5 Pro body is 3D printed, but Synco is also using quite a bit of metal parts in this 5 Pro version to make the device stronger and feel more solid. If you are upgrading from an old Microfogger, you will feel the improvement in the build quality when you pick up this new Microfogger 5 Pro. The Microfogger 5 Pro doesn't have any built-in hot shoe mount, but there is an optional tripod mount that you can buy separately, which replaces the standard battery cap, and that adds a tripod mount to the bottom of the machine. I can understand why this is not the default battery cap, as it does make that area extrude quite a bit, but I feel it probably should be included as a standard accessory instead of selling it separately. At the back of the Microfogger 5 Pro, there is a magnet that you can attach the unit to a metal surface. This is a very handy feature, as quite often you may want to attach it to a metal shelf or any other metal surface. So I'm very glad that this is built in onto the device. However, I noticed when I tried to attach it to some of my metal shelves, the Microfogger 5 Pro would slide down. If you look at the back of the device, there is a big label which covers most of the back, and the label itself is quite smooth and slippery. I think that may be the reason why the device would slide down if the surface I'm attaching to is also a bit slippery. The battery lasts about 20 to 30 minutes running continuously in medium power, but the battery is now removable, so you can easily replace the battery if you need longer runtime. It also means you don't have to worry about the built-in battery would die after a few years. Volsyntec told me the battery is a 21700 type battery, but it has special contact design to work with the Microfogger, and also the Microfogger 5 Pro requires high current battery. So Volsyntec don't recommend people to buy some off-the-shelf 21700 battery and modify themselves to make it work with the Microfogger 5 Pro. Since the price of the battery is only US $25 each from their website, so yeah, I think it's probably not worth the trouble and risk to try modify one yourself just to save a few dollars. You charge the battery using the Microfogger 5 Pro's USB-C port, which is a good and bad thing. The good thing is you can charge the battery very easily, but the downside is if you do buy a few extra batteries to extend the runtime, then you can only charge the batteries by swapping out the battery one by one and charge them using your Microfogger instead of having a standalone separate battery charger. But to be fair, this seems to be the trend these days. Even if you spend $2,000 or $3,000 to buy a new camera, most of them also don't come with a standalone charger, and you have to charge the battery through the camera. Like the previous Microfogger, this new Microfogger 5 Pro has to use the special fog liquid made by Volsyntec. The main ingredient is vegetable oil, and it is safe to use indoor. This special fog liquid is $10 for a small 50ml bottle. It may not sound like a lot, but a 50ml bottle can actually last quite a while. Microfogger 5 Pro comes with a brand new design removable fluid tank. Compared to the Microfogger 2 and 3 Pro that I've used previously, this new design is a lot more user-friendly as it's just so much easier to fill up the tank, and you no longer need to hold the Microfogger upside down when you attach the tank to the device. You just need to remove the cap at the top. However, be very careful with the cap when you are removing it as it is quite small, so you don't want to drop it onto the floor and lose it. When you finish using the Microfogger, it is recommended to remove the fluid tank from the device as it means there's no way you can leak any fluid and there's no chance of generating smoke if the device is accidentally turned on when you put it into a camera bag. But Volsyntec told me it is okay if you don't want to remove the fluid tank after you finish using it. I guess especially if you just have it sitting on your desk or on a shelf, then there's no risk of spilling the liquid or accidentally turn on the unit. I think this new tank design is a very good upgrade compared to the previous version. However, one little issue I have is when I remove the fluid tank, right now I don't really know how to store it as the bottom of the fluid tank is not flat and there's no container for me to put the tank into. I have discussed with Volsyntec about this issue. They told me they are fully aware of it and they are looking into a solution right now. The control interface is quite simple. Apart from the power switch at the bottom, there are only 3 buttons. The big button at the top to generate smoke, then one button for you to switch to the setting that you want to change, including long press and go into the menu system. And the other button is to change the value of the setting. The concept is simple to understand and in theory should be easy to remember and use. But when I'm using it, it is not as good or as easy as I thought it would be. I mean, it is okay as there is a screen, so I always know what setting I am changing. But I quite often find I would press the wrong button for some reasons, and because there's only one direction you can change the setting or go through the menu. So once I gone past the setting or value that I want to select, then I have to press that button many times to cycle back to it. Usually this is not really a big problem, but when you are changing value like the color for the optional ColorSmoke Attachment, there are over 360 values that you can choose. So once you've gone past the value that you want to choose, you have to go around completely and get back to the value that you want to choose. That means over 300 clicks. I would really prefer to have one more button on the machine so that I can change the value in the opposite direction. One thing that sets the Microfogger apart from all the other small smoke machines in the market is the amount of customization you can do. You can adjust the power and fan speed from the main screen. If you go into the setup screen, there are a lot of settings that you can choose. For example, you can set the delay, you can adjust the loop mode settings, you can change the time limit, you can even connect your own microcontroller to Microfogger 5 Pro's USB port and use it to control the Microfogger. And if you have the ColorSmoke Attachment, you can also adjust the color, the lighting effect, the speed it changes the color. There are just so many settings. So if you like to, for example, create a special scene or create a prop or something that need very specific smoke effect, the Microfogger 5 Pro is the best choice for you. Speaking of the ColorSmoke Attachment, I think it is a super cool and unique accessory. And it's great that it's just powered by the Microfogger 5 Pro, so you don't need to power it separately. However, one thing that I don't really like is there are 4 long connector pins that you plug into the Microfogger when you want to use it. The pins are completely unprotected. If you have used any equipment that rely on this kind of connection, you will know how fragile it could be. I haven't damaged the pins on my ColorSmoke Attachment yet, but I also won't be surprised if I bend it one day, especially if I try to install it in a hurry or when I use it under low light when I can't really see it very clearly. The screen on the Microfogger 5 Pro is a lot bigger than the one on the previous Microfoggers, and there are also more information displayed on the screen. For some reason, Voxintec really like to display their logo on the screen, which takes up about 20% or so of the space, which could really be used to display something else that is more useful. But apart from that, the larger screen make it easier to read, and there's a new temperature gauge at the middle of the screen. If you look at the power setting, you may notice when you set the power to full power, the last 2 bars at the top are black instead of white. It is because when the unit is cold, the power is limited to protect the heating coil. Once the unit has warmed up, then those 2 bars will automatically become white and you can run it at full power. However, there is a setting in the advanced menu that allows you to disable this behavior if you want. Recently, there are many small battery power smoke machines released in the market. So how does this Microfogger 5 Pro performs when you compare it to the other smoke machines in the market? Let's do some comparison with PMI Gear's SmokeNINJA. I do that partially because Voxintec and PMI Gear are 2 of the first companies in the market that create this small portable smoke machine. So they have been doing it for a while with a lot of experience in this area. I myself have used product from these 2 companies for quite a while as well. And another reason is because PMI Gear's SmokeNINJA, the price is exactly the same as the Microfogger 5 Pro. So I think it would be a good comparison for those of you who has a budget of around $250. Okay, let's talk about the amount of smoke that these machines can generate, which is probably the most important thing for a smoke machine. Now have a look at this side-by-side comparison. The Microfogger 5 Pro is running at full power and full fan speed, and the SmokeNINJA is running in fog mode, which I believe is the highest power mode. The amount of smoke generated is very similar. I feel the Microfogger 5 Pro may generate a little more smoke, but there isn't too big a difference. They are both pretty decent for a smoke machine of this size. And I think these two small smoke machines are mainly suitable for indoor use rather than big open outdoor space. This is completely expected because they are such compact smoke machine that is battery powered. There are a wide range of accessories for both smoke machines, but the accessories are not exactly the same. For example, the SmokeNINJA has the haze fan, while the Microfogger 5 Pro has the ColorSmoke Attachment. But for most of the common smoke effects, you can do it quite easily with either of these smoke machines. In terms of how the machine look and feel when you are holding it and whether it is easy to use, the Microfogger 5 Pro is a big improvement compared to the previous Microfoggers. With the new body shape, the new tank design, it is easily the best looking and easy to use smoke machine from Voxintech. However, I think the SmokeNINJA is just much better when it comes to the product design. Everything looks very nice and polished. There are just a lot of small design details that you can see the team at PMI Gear has spent a lot of time trying to perfectionize everything and give the user a very good user experience. The SmokeNINJA is just a lot easier to set up and use and just feel a lot more polished. Now, part of the reason why the SmokeNINJA is easier to use is because there is very limited amount of settings that you can change. You cannot manually adjust the power or the fan speed. You have to use one of the preset mode instead. So on one hand, it's great for user who wants a smoke machine that is super easy to use, but on the other hand, you lack all those menu adjustments that some user may want. The Microfogger provides a lot more adjustability. There are a lot more settings and features. Not only you can manually choose the power and fan speed, there are a lot of other settings like delay, maximum runtime, etc. You can also connect the external controllers to control the Microfogger. And I also really like that you can attach the optional color LED light attachment to the Microfogger, and that would give you even more flexibility of what you can do. So overall, there's just a lot more things that you can do with the Microfogger, especially for people who want to create a custom scene setup. In terms of reliability, I have to say, since I have only used both machines for about a month or two so far, so it's still a bit too early for me to say anything. But my past experience with the PMI Gear's Smoke Genie was really excellent, while I did have a few small issues with the Microfogger. But the support from Voxintech has been excellent. This time, with the new Fruit tank design and a few other changes, Voxintech has also increased their warranty to 24 months. So it shows Voxintech is very confident with their new Microfogger 5 Pro's reliability. It is really a bit too early for me to say anything, but given both companies have a lot of experience creating small smoke machines, so I think neither of them would be a bad choice. One thing that is very important when you buy a smoke machine is the consumable parts, and I'm mainly talking about the smoke liquid and the heating coil. Both PMI Gear and Voxintech have distributors and resellers in a number of countries, so it should be relatively easy to order the smoke liquid and parts if you live in one of the bigger countries. However, one big difference between the Microfogger 5 Pro and the SmokeNINJA is the price of the smoke liquid and the heating coil. Both are much cheaper for the Microfogger 5 Pro. I've complained about the price of SmokeNINJA's smoke chamber, which contains the heating coil, in my SmokeNINJA review. The price of one of those replacement unit is around $70 US, so it's almost 1/3 the price of the SmokeNINJA. While with the Microfogger, it is $18 for a pack of 2 heating coils. While Microfogger's heating coil doesn't seem to last as long as the one for the SmokeNINJA, but because they are way cheaper than the one for the SmokeNINJA, so it should work out still much cheaper even if you have to replace them more frequently. One main reason why the heating coil is so much more expensive for the SmokeNINJA is PMI Gear, they have designed the heating coil and the fluid tank all together as one component. So when you need to replace the heating coil, you are replacing the fluid tank together. While with the SmokeNINJA, you are only replacing the heating coil itself and you can reuse the fluid tank. The advantage of SmokeNINJA's design is it is much easier to replace the whole thing, and it also comes with a nice capsule for storage. But yes, the extra cost is really something that you need to consider. The special smoke fluid for the SmokeNINJA is also quite a bit more expensive than the one for the Microfogger 5 Pro. So overall, while the Microfogger 5 Pro and SmokeNINJA are both small portable smoke machine with identical price, the target users are very different. The Microfogger 5 Pro provides you heaps of adjustable settings. You can even connect an external controller to program the Microfogger. So if you want to set up and control the smoke machine to generate smoke to exactly what you want, the Microfogger 5 Pro will be great for you. Not to mention the running cost is also quite a bit lower than the SmokeNINJA as well. On the other hand, the SmokeNINJA has a really well thought out design. Everything is super easy to use. You can just unbox it and start using it within a few minutes. While the adjustments are really limited when you compare to the Microfogger 5 Pro, by combining the different settings and accessories, you can still create most of the popular smoke effects. One more thing I want to mention is, when I publish this review, Synco should have just announced their new Microfogger 5 Lite, which is the little brother to the Microfogger 5 Pro. It has the same form factor and it shares a lot of components. The power is the same as well. The biggest difference is that the Lite version doesn't have the screen and it also doesn't have any of the advanced settings, and it has a much simpler one-button interface. And the best thing is, the price is only $150, so it is a lot cheaper than the Microfogger 5 Pro. So if you just want a basic simple smoke machine, the Microfogger 5 Lite would be a very attractive option. So the Microfogger 5 Pro is definitely the biggest update in the whole Microfogger lineup. What do you guys think about it? Will you guys be interested in getting a Microfogger 5 Pro yourself? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below.